Hello everybody, my name is Jenny and welcome to Veritable Volatility. Today we are talking about Lactea Divina from the Arabian perfume house Paris Corner. This is what it looks like. Clearly it's opposite day for Arsenic Mayhem because look at that green. Very soothing color. Just because I don't identify with the color green doesn't mean I don't like it, you know? The reason why I bought this particular perfume is because I was so intrigued by the notes. You know if you watch my channel, you know I'm obsessed with milk. I love even sour milk. That's the one animalic I can tolerate and that I actually love is milk. Milk has really good symbolism, which we'll get into later in this video. Remember, my channel is all about symbolism and, you know, personifying perfumes because it's a form of art to me. So if you're new to Veritable Volatility, we have two rating systems. The first is the generalized review, in which there are the categories, the scent, the longevity / sillage, the mood, and finally the art / symbolism. And the other system, called my Realgar stars rating system, there are 5 categories. There is the gender of the perfume, the notes themselves, and their symbolism with my little persona. Her name is Arsenic Mayhem, if you're new. The name of the perfume, because names are very important to me, the bottle, and finally the lure. There's 5 categories in that system, whereas the other one had only 4. If you're still confused about that, you can watch my intro video, the first video I've uploaded on this channel, and then hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense to you why these rating systems exist and what my channel is all about. So I think without further ado, let's start talking about this. I regret to inform you all that when I sprayed this, well, first of all, when I sprayed it out in the air, it smelled divine. It smelled like Lactea Divina, which means divine milk in Latin. Actually, and I get a little bit of crazy coconut in this. Like, it smells like coconut a little bit, which I love. I love coconut. But sadly, on my skin chemistry, it smells like Old Navy flip-flops or bicycle tires. It smells like synthetic ass rubber, which is disgusting. So I was really disappointed. I was sad for a little bit, but maybe after like 30 minutes to maybe an hour, that faded away. And what you could basically smell after that was a lot of cocoa. I get a lot of cocoa from this. And basically everything else. So the notes as listed on Paris Corner are on the top, it's cocoa and incense. In the heart, it's jasmine and tuberose, and in the base, it is vanilla, tonka bean, and milky notes. On Fragrantica, it says something a little bit different. It could be the same. Incense and cacao on the top, tuberose and jasmine in the middle, and then milk, vanilla, and tonka bean on the bottom. So like basically the same thing. The rubberiness just ruins it a lot for me. It makes you feel sick. It's quite a nauseating smell, which makes me kind of upset about this, but luckily, when it dries down, you get a lot of that milkiness. It smells almost, I can see how a lot of people wouldn't like this, because on your skin, it'll dry down to this, like, almost sour, like, breath-like milk. It doesn't smell bad or, like, tooth decay type of bad breath, but, you know, it smells like you just drank a glass of milk and what your breath smells like slightly. And I kind of like that. The one animalic stanky note that I like is milk, you know. I will also say this, that the florals in this smell kind of cheap, like, yikes. Hold on, you can really smell it from thingy for some reason. Maybe I'm just a nostril to it. Yeah, they smell like very sharp and cheap to me. I don't know if that's just me. Overall, the scent isn't very well blended. So that's kind of what I get. I'm not too sure if I get incense from this. I'm not entirely positive of what that insinuates, but maybe it's where that rubber is coming from. I have no idea. I would say if you care, like, it was relatively inexpensive. So if you want to blind buy this and you feel like you would like this, then go for it. I don't like see a point in getting a sample of it since it's so cheap. Yeah, take a risk if you feel like it. That's what I did. I blind bought this, and man, I'm the type of person, if I don't like something, I'll just force myself to get used to it. Yeah, I'm, you know, starting to grow a little bit fonder of it. I mean, as long as you spray it like 30 minutes or an hour before you leave the house, that sort of rubberiness will fade away and you'll get this nice milky, realistic milky scent with a little bit of white floral on top. It's very sweet. There's lots of vanilla and tonka and cacao, which is quite lovely. It's not a bad scent, really. I'm not in love with it. I'm not like, I'm not having like a reaction to it or anything. It smells alright. It smells okay. I just like to have a milky scent, so glad about that. Next up is the longevity of this. This lasts like any other herb fragrance, overnight, 8 hours plus. Don't worry in that department. And I actually find the sillage, the projection of this, not to be as strong as other herb fragrances, but if that's kind of your thing, then not necessarily a downside. I just don't find this one to have that enormous of a sillage. Moderate, or maybe like even skin scent level. You know what, y'all? The scent is growing on me. I can get past the rubberiness in the opening. Alright, next up is the mood. So, why would you wear this? When? What occasion? Yada yada yada. So, I would not advise you to wear this in warm weather, especially because of that rubber thing. You know, summer, you'll choke people out, and if you're choking out people with something that smells off-putting, then not gonna end up good for you, is the least I can say. So wear this during winter. Wear this, like, I would say it's a good transition from like winter to like the cool spring type weather. I live on the East Coast, so I have seasons and the weather changes like a BPD patient's mood. Luckily for me, I get to change up my perfumes pretty often, and you know, I think I would layer this a lot with my signature seasonal scents. I think it would go really well with a few of mine during the winter time, maybe the early spring. That's just kind of the vibe I think it gives off. Maybe it's because of this green packaging that just reminds me of spring or something. Maybe the fall, like summer to fall, equinox type of scent, or just general cold weather. It really doesn't matter. Who cares? Don't wear that out of hospital. Don't wear any herb fragrances anywhere where you offend people with scents. You don't want to smell that strong. Just don't. Good rule of thumb, and that's basically all I have to say about the mood. Do y'all hear my cat? He's an attention whore. He's sticking his paw underneath my door. Like, Jesus, I'm just trying to make a video. I'll get you some food soon, fat ass. Like, what? I have 3 cats. That one's name is Binky. He's the middle child, and he's annoying as fuck. He thinks he's a shit, but he's not even the fart. There's Bozo, he's the oldest, he's a G, and then there's Tiny, the little black cat. She's cute, but she's also very annoying, and she'll scratch me sometimes for no reason. Alright, now for the section of art / symbolism. This is the point at which I personify the perfume. To me, you know, I'm getting vibes of, it's opposite day of Arsenic. Arsenic's the red girl, in case you didn't know, and it's green, which basically symbolizes her trying to let go of all her attachments, all her red types of struggles, you know, obsession, anger, pent up resentment, and, you know, just releasing it to the earth and the divine and becoming pure. And binging is another one. That's another thing she would struggle with, I feel. Yeah, just letting it all go to the divine, to God, and the comfort of vanilla and milk in this sort of just encapsulates all that even more. But also there's this level of like corruption and like failed attempt and, you know, just sadness and brokenness to this because of that rubberiness. It's like unintentional. Like all the other notes are tainted. The flowers become synthetic and cheap and ugly smelling. The milk becomes sour. The cacao smells cheap and synthetic. So it's reminding me of like corrupted innocence a little bit. So this is somebody who, it's reminding me of like a mom who like turned to Christianity after having like a corrupt ass life, and she's like struggling with that. She keeps relapsing on all her mentally ill stuff and just tries her best every day, but you know, it's hard, and you can smell it in this perfume. She struggles a lot. You can smell a lot of conflicts and a lot of just terrifying energy with that, which I don't even think is a bad thing. I mean, I would spray this on myself just for the art, even if I didn't, because I don't hate the scent. I wouldn't even necessarily have to love it entirely to wear it. You know, it's artistic to me. That's what I do with perfume, you know, it's my thing. Yeah, this smells like pain. Getting back anything that's virgin about you, like mourning the years of virgin, not even just like sexual virginity, just like everything virginity. You feel so unpure, so you're just praying for anything, any scrap of redemption. Remember you all as artistic pieces. Every fragrance's artistic significance is in the eye of the beholder. My dumbass symbolism that I made up, you don't have to agree with. You can say this symbolizes fucking Diddy baby oil orgy party if you want to. That would be your subjective truth, and I have mine. I'm a great fan of Kierkegaard and existentialism, in case you couldn't tell. Of course, I have to call myself a nerd in every single video. It wouldn't be a veritable volatility episode if it weren't for that. Alright, next up we've got the Realgar star section of this video. If you don't like arsenic mayhem, if you don't give a fuck about my little persona, my little way to cure my own BPD, then you can click off. The first category of the Realgar star system is the gender. So arsenic's ideal gender rating is unisex but versus slightly feminine, in case you knew and you didn't know that. This I find, well, it's tricky because all the notes listed I do smell, you know, everything from the white florals to the cacao to the milk to the vanilla to everything listed. I can smell it all, maybe except for the incense. But that rubber note, which was unintended, makes this, like, I don't even know how to classify that rubber smell. To me it smells masculine, but I wouldn't classify rubber as a masculine perfume note because it's not a perfume note. Who wants to smell like rubber? So yeah, I give this a 1. But at what cost, you know? Because like, it smells ever so slightly feminine. Like, there's a very unisex touch to it in that it smells so synthetic and weird. But I digress. This was a tricky category to assess, but I ended up giving it a perfect score. Next up is going to be the notes in the Realgar Stars rating system. So how do these notes symbolically define who Arsenic Mayhem is? Well, milk is a great symbol for her because it represents, I always say this in my videos, but because milk is a recurring theme in my perfumes, but divine femininity, you know, nurturing, it is nourishment for children. Milk and lactones biologically comfort us. Yeah, so it just represents that special kind of love a mother has, and it's a very comforting energy, which, you know, I like to incorporate in my little persona symbolism thing. Another similar note would be the vanilla. This also represents comfort, but it's less so motherly. It's more comfort, like general, just baseline and tried and true and trustworthiness. That's what vanilla represents, and I get that very strongly here. With gourmand notes, I relate that to being representative of our girl because gourmands relate to binge and overindulgence and gluttony, which also ties into the symbolism of the perfume in general because, you know, it's all about overindulgence and trying to repent for it. The cacao in this is also very sweet. I don't know if I mentioned that already. It's very sweet smelling. It smells like a chocolate bar almost. White florals I also relate to arsenic because, well, it's, to her, like, flowers insinuate purity and feminine purity, I guess. So other flowers might represent, you know, flirtatious energy and like trying to be scandalous and whatnot, but no, her version of femininity is purity and like modesty, I suppose. So white flowers are just hers. That's the type of flower that she likes. Coconut relates to feminine hysteria. Insert that picture of the emoji smiling. It's windy as fuck right now. And tonka bean is, you know, just a common base note in perfumes that's very warm and sweet, whereas amber is, you know, like a warm base note. Tonka is a sweet one. Ambergris is like a cooler one. Oak moss is like a freshy one. You know, there's just different types of base notes that perfumers generally use. This would be like the sweet base note. So, you know, neutral, average, not deducting or adding points. Yeah, for these notes, I'm giving a 0.9, so nearly perfect. I deducted points because they misled me and I don't like being deceived. And nowhere in those notes did it say burnt rubber. It was hard to assess this too because symbolically the notes listed encapsulate a theme of my Arsenic Mayhem persona so well, but there's that level of corruption in there, that distrustfulness. So I had to dock a point. If you don't know already, all of the 5 categories add up to a total of something out of 5 stars, and I subdivide it, so like in tenths sometimes, and like hundreds. You'll understand, just watch the rest. And it's like, I'm not gonna fault the brand for like that rubbery note and like the distasteful like deception, because it's just the case that it doesn't work on my skin chemistry. I read some reviews on Fragrantica and people reporting the same thing, that rubbery plasticky smell, but the vast majority of people say that it smells like Lactea Divina on their skin. So I guess I'm just part of the odd ones out. Not necessarily their fault, it's just like thing with the perfume's chemistry, I guess. I don't know. So I'm not gonna be too harsh. Next category is the name. Names are very important to me. Names are symbolic. Names are like a cover of a book, you know? It's what the perfumes call themselves. It's just, they're important to me. And the name Lactea Divina, like I said, means divine milk in Latin, and I just love Latin. I'm not gonna elaborate, okay? So this got it perfect. Listen to the music I'm playing right now. I'm literally playing Ars Nova music right now. Yeah, divinity. Interesting thing to think about, you know? Something Arsenic Mayhem tries to incorporate into her daily life, you know, a sense of purity and faith, and, you know, just, she tries to heed attention to what is ethical. And the fact that it's called milk, I mean, it's accurate from the standpoint of perfume. I'd say the milk is the strongest note in here. Next category is the bottle. I have this as a category because, you know, perfumes are art. I like to behold them with my eyes. And this is a very soothing color. Let's get it close up. Opposite day for Arsenic Mayhem. Like I said a million times in this video. Beautiful color. I always say this, but I don't do silver, I do gold. But whatever. At least I can say this is monochrome green. Not really breaking any rules. If you hold it like this, it doesn't fall. If you hold it up to some light, you can see how much you've used already. I like the cursive. Really nice font and stuff. Taskine is the line it comes from, so Caramel Cascade is from the Taskine line. I think they've got like maybe a couple others besides those two. Yeah, so 1. Perfect. Nothing much to criticize about that bottle at all. When it comes to the arsenic standpoint. Finally, we've got the lore category. What does Paris Corner want you to think of this, and how do they want you to aestheticize it, and how do people online tend to aestheticize this perfume? What I generally gather is that, I don't know, people don't say much sexual with it. Like, that's my main gripe with like advertisement, is like the over sexuality of things. Like, I don't know, I'm just generally sensitive to it, because when advertisers try to appeal to women or men with like the sexual appeal, it insinuates that we humans are nothing more than our like primal appeal, and we have nothing more than primal desires, and we can't control ourselves. That's not pretty to me. I just don't like it. And this takes like a sort of higher road. Paris Corner takes sort of a higher road when they advertise it. I mean, the pictures kind of have like what looks like jizz, like just dripping on the bottle, but if you think it looks like that, then that's your problem. They you know, advertise it as this like appeal to the gentle and divine, which is by no means sexual at all. So I really like it. I took away a little bit because just that deception thing again. The reason why I took away points in the notes category, it's the same reason I'm taking away points in the lore category. It's because, you know, I feel like if this was better blended, this would smell good on everybody's skin, but it just smells awful for those like first 30 minutes on my skin. Poorly executed, I want to say. Yeah, just kind of cheapish. Very little care, but like I said with Sahar, great aestheticization value. 0.7. I just don't like the cheapness. It's yucky. It's just a lack of care. Even if it is even if the people handling this perfume are cheapy with it. It's a good concept, just poorly executed, like I've said for like the 5th time. So my friends, if we add up all the categories points, we get a total of 4.6 Realgar stars out of 5. Kind of neck and neck with Cosmic. Cosmic was slightly higher, then we got a 4.65. But yes, this perfume makes me sad. I wish it didn't smell bad in the opening. You know, I just feel sad when I smell it. It is very nice in the dry down, I will say that much. If you want to give it a try, I wouldn't consider it a bad idea. Chances are it's probably going to smell really good on your skin, but it just doesn't on mine. I have some awkward skin chemistry, I suppose. Thanks for watching my video. Check out all Arsenic Mayhem stuff. It's all linked in the description. Check out my Canva page of all my analyses if you so desire to look at my really aesthetically pleasing mood boards. I really don't care about anything at all because everything's ephemeral. So keep being you and stay proud of yourself, please. Bye.